Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Few Minutes with Marvin. I am Marvin, and I inspire those who aspire to make positive changes in their lives. And in this video, I want to discuss the blame game. Do you often do this? Point finger at somebody else? I've got something to show you. Three fingers are actually pointing back at you. So who's actually to blame? And is there really a need for blame of any kind? That is my question to you. If you like this video, please comment, share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it. So let's talk about blame and what's really at hand here. I, like all of you, and like most of us, have had my moments where I've pointed the finger at somebody else, whether you know it really was the other person or not, um, was up to somebody else's discretion, or whether you believe me or not. And that's the case with a lot of people. Um, and yes, I was one of those people. And I blamed, others for not getting a promotion at work. I blamed my car, you know, for being late to work or to school. I blamed my alarm clock after I hit the snooze button. You know, we all blame something or somebody for what occurs in our life. And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, there's the 80-20 rule here. I really do believe that 20% um, was not uh, my fault per se. I won't say a blame or anything else. But for example, in life, unfortunately, there are people that are not nice people, and they use their own agendas for their own means, and whether it hurts you or not, doesn't even matter. Um, for example, somebody doesn't like you at work and blames you for something you didn't do. The manager believes the other person for whatever reason, you get fired. That's wrong. And you want to blame that other person and point the finger, and you'd be right to do so in that case. But there are more often times than not, that you know the responsibility uh, lies with us. For example, in that alarm clock situation, you hit the snooze button, it didn't go off after 10 minutes or whatever you thought it was going to, and you fell asleep. You made a conscious decision to hit that snooze button. Whether it went off again or whether you heard it again or didn't, and you were late, it's not the alarm clock's responsibility. It's yours. And I'm not saying that you're pointing the fingers back at yourself for blame. I'm saying you merely chose to be late. In actuality, we're conditioned not to think that way. Everything has to have a reason, a blame, a good or bad. There's duality. He's right, she's right. I didn't. He did it, she did it. But the reality is that there really isn't any of that. It's what we were conditioned for centuries, for I don't know how long. But somebody long ago, or somebody's decided, this is right and that's wrong. And it was passed on to all of us throughout generations and generations. Um, and it's increasingly difficult to put it back on ourselves, because we're taught, or we learned, or we were conditioned to, that it's a good or a bad, it's a right or a wrong. Somebody's got to take responsibility for this. Somebody did this to me. Oh, I'm here to tell you the reality of it is that you did it to yourself. I believe that we create our own realities, and we need to take ownership for our lives and the occurrences in our lives, because in some way, shape, or form, we created that situation. And I know people are going to get upset that, in certain cases of abuse and things of that nature, they're saying we didn't create that situation. Yes and no. And trust me, I sympathize with abuse victims and race victims and all of that. And this isn't about that, or it's not about politics, and it's not about religion. It's about ownership. Um, and when you can really take ownership for what happens to you or what you create, even though you don't believe you had a hand in creating it, there's still an option that you could have taken a different road or you could have made a different choice. But the key word is choice. It has nothing to do with blame. It has everything to do with choice. And I will applaud you for the choice you made. I don't judge on whether it was good or bad. That doesn't enter my mind whatsoever. You made a choice. Whether it was conscious or subconscious, you made the choice. You made the choice to hit the snooze button, which ultimately made you late. You made that choice. Doesn't make it good or bad. It was a choice. You were tired. Consciously, you knew the ramifications of your tardiness, but you still made the choice to hit the snooze button. And that's where I'm going with this. It's not about blaming or taking responsibility for every single thing that you do, although it does lie with you. And but the world that has been created, the world we live in, is third dimensional, and third dimensional is duality, right, wrong, good, bad, evil, God, however you want to see it. That's the world that's been created, that we're living in. And we can choose to live peacefully, or we can choose to live in negativity. It's a choice. I choose not to watch social media. I choose not to watch television. That's my choice. Doesn't make it good or bad. Doesn't make me right or wrong. I'm not. I am just me. I am living in the present. I live day to day. And I know that, that's hard for most people to understand. It was hard for me to come to this place. But it's my reality because I've seen the options, and I make those choices based on experiences of the past and my beliefs. And quite honestly, people don't take the time, and I say this all the time, to stop and really listen. Don't listen externally, listen internally. You're the only one that can tell you what's right or wrong, what's good and bad. Don't let anybody else's judgments, determine your choices. They're your choices. If you choose to harbor ill will towards somebody, that's your choice. It's not their choice. You may want to blame them. It was their actions that caused that, but what part did you play in that role? Or, what role did you play in that part? Think about it. All I'm saying is I choose my own reality. And if I choose to listen to the news, then I choose to believe or not to believe what that reporter's saying. It's not about whether it's fake news or good news or right news or bad news or negative news. If my intuition tells me that's not good, it doesn't sound right, or it doesn't resonate with me, I turn it off. I choose not to listen to it. Of course I listen to inklings here and there about shortages and famine coming or something. I'm not going to let that affect me, because if I do, then I'm giving something else my power. Until the day comes where there's not one thing in my cupboard or in my refrigerator to eat, then I'll go, hey, I need to figure out where to get food or how to get food. But until then, I'm not worried about it. I'm not thinking about it, because if I think about it, that becomes my reality. Like I said in the past, your thoughts become a reality. What you think, you project. So I project a full refrigerator and a full cupboard of food. Now, I'm not concerned about whether or not there's enough toilet paper or in the supermarkets or food on it hasn't happened. And as far as I'm concerned, in my reality, it's not going to happen. But I make that choice. So I don't blame the media. I don't blame politics. I don't blame religion. I don't blame people. I see everybody neutrally. And again, it's not easy to come to where I am now. And I'm not saying it's for you. It's about choice. It's not about blame. So you don't have to blame yourself for anything. You don't have to blame society for anything. You don't. Once you choose to be neutral or to see things for what they really are, coming from within yourself, nothing else matters. And again, you say, this matters, that matters. You choose what matters and what doesn't matter. It's all about choice. So, choose to be positive. Choose to be happy. Choose to be with your family and have a good time and not dwell on what could or should or somebody said is going to happen. And take the words can't and won't and don't out of your vocabulary. You can. You can get through this pandemic and come out miraculously well on the other side if you choose to. So, choose wisely, my friends, and have an amazing day.